Okay, so we're going to cover these insoles now, and I'm going to do that slightly differently because we've got our little cutouts on here. What I'm going to do is create a cover for the front and a binding around the outside. So the way that I usually do that, getting my silver pen. Okay, so the way that I usually do that is I start at the inside there and then I wrap it around and get to sort of usually where the red, the back part is finishing, but we'll do it to about there. Now I'm gonna make my binding a little bit wider than normal. So I'm gonna go about 1.5 centimeters. And essentially what's gonna happen here is that this strip is gonna wrap around the outside edge of the insole, and then I'm gonna put another piece over the toe, and that will allow us access to the middle of the insole to drill our heel in. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, that is absolutely fine because we will get to it in the following videos. But for now, I essentially want 2 long strips. And as you can see, these do not have to be particularly neat. And I basically want to wrap that around the outside edge like that. So let's do one, shall we? I'm going to take my water-based glue. I'm going to coat the whole back of that strip. And then while that's drying, I'm going to glue around the outside edge of the insole. I also like to put it on the side there as well, just so that everything sticks nicely the whole way around. Okay, and once it's had enough dry time, we can start sticking. I'm going to start from around about there and just sort of work my way around the insole. Now when I get to the back, I like to give it a really good stretch like that. Just helps me really get around that curve, and you can literally just press it in, trying to get as sort of few wrinkles as possible. And yes, I know that is easier said than done. Once we've gone around the front, we can work our way around the back. Now, as you can see, I have left quite a lot of excess on that binding, and I've kind of done that on purpose because we want to make sure that wherever our wherever our platform comes to, it's going to be covered. Now, I've got way too much excess here on that side because I don't want to really go into my little gap there. So I'm just going to trim the excess off. And then around this heel section here, we're just going to pull in the pleats as far away from the edge as we possibly can. So it should look something like that. Okay, at that point, I like to just take a little craft knife and cut away any of those extra little pleats, whilst again, trying not to go too close to the edge. So you'll see I'm still quite far from the edge there, and I know my heel is gonna cover all of that up anyway. We're gonna go back to our leather, and I'm gonna find a nice straight edge, like this one here, and I'm gonna place that straight edge right along this straight edge of the insole there. And we kind of want to overlap that binding that we've done. And then we want to trace about 1 centimeter extra around the whole front. And then we can go ahead and cut that out. So this piece is now going to sort of go on top like that and then wrap over the edges. So let's start by coating the back of this with glue, and then coating the front of the insole with glue as well. Now remember, we're going to be overlapping the binding, so I have put the glue just over the edge of the binding there as well. And on the flip side, we need a strip of glue around the outside edge so that it has something to stick to once we fold it over. Now, just for fun, I like to put a bit of glue inside those little cutouts as well, just so that when I'm folding it in there, it's got something to stick to. Okay, so we'll give that a moment to dry and then we'll get it stuck down. All right, so this has had a decent dry time now, so I'm just gonna place that right over the top and just stick that down nicely. And then on this side, we can start folding over the easy parts. And as usual, we'll end up with these little pleats, and we just want to keep making sure that we get them as far away from the edge as possible. Okay, so now we're just going to deal with these little inside bits here. So the way I like to do it is just kind of cut a little bit of a snip right into the corner and then fold it into itself. So we kind of want to cut a little snip that way. So you sort of end up with like a little bit of a triangle like this sticking up, and then that wants to go into the pleat like that. And if you end up with excess bulk because you've got double layers there, you can just trim one away until you've got it sort of as neat as you can. Now, if you're thinking that's not as neat as I want it to be, just remember your strap is going to sit inside there as well, so that will sort of cover up any funny business that's going on. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other one. So you sort of end up with a lot of pleating going on around it, but that's sort of how you want it to look from the front. And then from underneath, you can go ahead and take away all of the bulk. So cut all those big pleats off. Any bits that need extra glue, just seal them down. And you can even use your safety beveler to shave away some of this excess bulk as well. All right, and then we have our covered insole. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other one, but once we have that ready, we can just double check how it looks sitting within that platform unit. And this is looking really, really good so far. And we've got our nice little holes available there, ready for our straps to go in. And I am getting really excited about this pair. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'll cover the other one and I'll see you in the next video, which will be making our straps.